The agenda is not very long, but I do have some items that I want to discuss with you. So let's just start and let's do our weekly stand up. I know the last week there was not people around, but still, if you have some priority, if you're working on something, please mention just like a short resume summary of what you're doing. For example, I prepared everything for our Giving Tuesday. I think that's something that was cool. And I'll pass it to Nicola.
Thanks, Almond. Yo, nice to be here again. Okay, so my focus really is more about like closing the past of the Meet the Makers as it was and looking at how it could be in the future. And during that time, I actually feel like proposing that maybe we could go back to verified projects, newly verified projects tweet thread. That is something we could start doing again if Steve is still around and available, because that could be easy for me just to prepare the list of the projects that become verified, and we could break it down into tweets and do a little bit at least with using the hashtag Meet the Giveth Makers, so that there's still some movement, but not necessarily the online live recording. So that was my suggestion, and yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Aljin since you are mute.
Thanks, Nicola. So for this week, I am excited to hop on our call with Almond so we can discuss how to move forward with everything we had talked during the Give Connect. So I also prepared some social media posts on Notion yesterday, and I'm also excited to discuss it with you, Almond. And for the Give It the Makers, I also want to see what are the posts that we need to post because we already repurposed some of the content, but then they were unpaused or they were not scheduled because of the Give Connect. So hopefully we can have more content moving forward. I'm gonna pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Aljean. Happy to be here. I think that the major things working on collaboration with Palms. First of all, honestly, I just want to praise Almond and Aljean and whoever else helped you all make all the social media posts during Dev Connect. Like, I didn't even have the bandwidth to really be completely present with what I was doing in the real world, let alone like making posts and doing all this stuff on social media. And I just like get on Instagram and I see all these like awesome videos and awesome posts and pictures that were shared and all the content that was shared. So like I want to give a shout out to you guys for that because that was so cool. And the other thing I guess is just moving forward on these different campaigns with the project features, the updates and things like that. So that's my biggest thing that I'm working on, I guess, from Calm's perspective. And I'll pass it to Franco.
I think you said my name. Yeah, haven't been working on anything on comms, but I'm just here to help Ashley stream the call. So this is on the YouTube, and yeah, just like I want to sync. I haven't been in this call forever, so I'm just here to see what's going on and see how I can help. And I'll pass it over to Mitch.
Yeah, I'm here mostly just to listen and provide information when needed. And I'll pass it to Lauren. I think she just joined.
Thanks, Mitch. Yes, my intentions are to just like sync up and catch up because I wasn't in the call last week. And yeah, I mean, just talk about like things that are kind of like upcoming for Christmas. I also wanted to get like general feedback around comms about the idea that Griff was putting up about running a QF round around Christmas time, and then other things that are just kind of on my mind or like on the plate are retro PGF push and then even coordinating comms around like the Polygon QF round and like other QF rounds. Lots of QF comms and retro PGF. That's what I'm here for, and to get the updates. I think I'm looking at the list. I look like I'm last, I think, right? Pass it to Almond.
Yes, Thanks, Lauren. Okay, let's start. I have the items for the call here. So first thing I wanted to share with you the Giving Tuesday effort that we put together. We wanted to do something bigger, but at the end, it was not possible, but still we did something cool. So we have this tweet here that I put on the agenda and I'm going to share with you. And it would be great if you can all engage with this tweet and quote and share. So basically, as you might already know, Giving Tuesday is this Tuesday after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving, in which basically everyone makes and creates their own initiatives around giving. So this is an open brand. Everyone can just use it with however you want. And what we did is we basically used the 6 Medium posts that Steve wrote, like very intro level Web3 altruism, and then just share for people just to also share with nonprofits or with organizations or people that want to start their fundraising journey with Web3 tech. So yeah, I would really encourage you all to go ahead and post and make these content, own this content, and then just to spread the word around this, and hopefully we'll be able to do something bigger next year. But well, at least we got something out. Some numbers that are interesting. Last year, just in the United States, Giving Tuesday raised $3.1 billion in donations, which is a 15% increase for 2021, with 35 million people participating just in the US. So this is a growing movement that I think would be very strategic to keep doing campaigns around. So yeah, that was the first thing that I wanted to say. And someone has any comments on this, or can we move to the next item? Okay, cool. Next item in the agenda, give news. So Ana Maria could not join, but she asked me to ask you, what should we have for future project and our give friends for next month newsletter? So yeah, any ideas of a future project? Maybe Ashley or Nicola or someone that we should highlight?
You mean for the newsletter?
Exactly.
I think we did we do Trusted Seed last time or no?
Yeah, we did the on conference.
Okay. Okay. That's what I was wondering. I wanted to make sure that we did that one. I can look through the updates. I know there was some cool ones that I saw, so if there wasn't anything, but I think Anna Maria had, for some reason I thought she had a project, but I'm gonna be going through the updates soon, so I could probably find something cool that we can highlight. When is the deadline? We send it out when?
Usually it's the early next month. So maybe if you can have an option for tomorrow or the day after tomorrow would be great.
Soil Dow? Soil Dow? It was Soil Dow. So maybe that could actually, like, that's not a bad idea. We could highlight them. They were the highest. They were like the top funded project in the QF round. It would build more hype for QF and also like feature them. And they did a great job, honestly, like rallying their community. It could be a good example for other projects moving forward on how you can like, and maybe even we could hit them up and get like a quote or something, or like, what's your secret to success during QF rounds? Like, can you share it with the rest of our projects? And like maybe that would be inspiring for other project owners.
They're gonna be completely down to do that. They were so excited about the whole QF thing. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and just like interesting thing about Soil DAO, the reason that Soil DAO got the most matching is not actually just because they got the most donors. It was because their donors donated a lot, which I think is an interesting kind of like narrative that like is not always put forward with QF. Like everybody kind of focuses or emphasizes the number of donors matters more than the contributed, but the amount contributed also matters. So I think like if we're to kind of like feature Soil Down, or like they got the most funds QF, and it's like, what's their secret to success? Well, their secret to success is that like they got some people to back them with like more funding, and that could also kind of help encourage projects to like look for bigger donors even during QF rounds, which would then increase our donor stats and blah blah blah, which is a cool thing. Yeah. If we needed another one, like maybe it doesn't have to be now too, but like using metagame, I think as an example as well for a project that did really well in QF is also interesting because they got a lot of small donors, and they didn't get as much matching as Soil Down, but they kind of like played the other kind of like community favor card. And yeah, they did really great efforts around. They Pete wrote a great blog explaining how QF works. He posted in a lot of different Telegram chats, and maybe kind of like also even asking to them like what their secret to success was. We could do, I don't know, comparison between the two projects. This is one that kind of like did really well by targeting large donors, and this is one that did really well by like appealing to the community and their different tactics. Yeah, I just think that's all interesting context.
Nice. I like it. You mentioned metagame, right? Oy.
Yeah, metagame, and they did a lot of like great marketing stuff. And I think the top 3 projects were Soil DAO, metagame, and Rotkey.
Okay, maybe we can have the top 3 for this edition.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. And what about if, I don't know, what do you think? If in Give Friends we do the Giving Tuesday as a Give Friend? It's not actually an organization, but it's kind of like an initiative, or what do you think?
For Give Friends, we could do Polygon. And like be like Polygon is our Give, because usually the Give Friends are kind of almost like partners. And we're partnering with Polygon in that upcoming QF round in January. And then if this is going out like end of the month, then people will, I guess they won't be able to apply anymore in the form. I mean, it depends how quickly we can get it out. But if they're still able to apply to participate in the Polygon QF round, it might be a ETA.
Yeah, it's about to close. Okay.
I think on the 30th, yeah.
Okay, I'll let Ana Maria know, and then we can.
Is there a schedule for QF rounds? Like, maybe it would be nice to have like a especially if we're gonna do multiple QF rounds in the future. It'd be nice to have like a calendar somehow. I don't know if it's like in the DApp even or something like that, where it like shows all the different rounds happening on what days. That would be really useful.
Yeah, definitely. I want to improve QF, and like, for our next QF like season thing, I want to like make it possible to run multiple rounds, that we'd have a homepage and it would show like when's the next round. You could click it and see the projects that are included and all these things. So it's like a UX that we don't like currently have designed, but I do think that we should include it. And then like the schedule right now for QF, just to kind of like let you guys know what's happening everywhere, is like we got the Polygon round, which will run January 8th to 22nd, and then right after that it'll be like ENS with like a 10K round, with like a public goods round that any public goods projects can apply to, Talent DAO that has really specific requirements that they want to do, and maybe even for a meta pool that wants to support projects in the Asia Pacific region. They're all kind of like saying they want to do them in January, February, but none of them are like fully confirmed. So it's like we could kind of do them back to back to back if that could work. Plus, Griff wants to run one. He suggested we run one at the end of December, like run a Giveth one on Optimism.
As you mentioned that it was part of your intentions to discuss, maybe we can, and Griff is here too, maybe we can touch base on that. I think that we finished with the Give News item, so let's move to what you mentioned, Lauren, regarding the QF Christmas round, if you want to give the intro.
Yeah. Oh man, Griff. He looks so happy. It makes me like upset. So Griff had the suggestion to run a QF round over the holidays. Apparently, holidays is like the most popular time of year to donate, and we could kind of like set up and sort of like leverage that like spirit of generosity, and also try to increase our optimism donation stats. Basically, we promised Optimism that we would get $10,000 of donations on Optimism Network, and including our QF round the last time, we're like around 50K. If we ran another 25K round, we got another 25K of donations, we'd almost get 100K, which would basically mean that we fulfill our promise to Optimism, and then they'll give us OP tokens we can use for liquidity. So that's kind of like one justification of having the round, and then also just the idea that it's like, okay, we could get a lot more donations on Giveth and the holiday spirit and blah, blah, blah. I don't really want to make like work for us over the holidays. Like, you know, we launched the Give economy on the holidays and tried to watch Give Power on the holidays, and it's always like such a huge drag at the end of December. We're like trying to do all this stuff. So like I'm like a little bit like about it. At the same time as I that's like I want to get feedback from the people here in this call. Like if we run this round, like I mean, I already talked to Amin and Ashley about it. We could coordinate the marketing efforts in advance and kind of set things up, but like we'd also kind of like need project eligibility requirements. Like what kinds of projects do we want to include on the round? Are we just going to say anybody who adds an update starting now go up to X projects, or do we want to like make some kind of like specific parameters around the types of projects we want to support around Christmas? And yeah, so I also just wanted to like kind of like this is an idea, and like everybody now knows about it, and we can kind of collectively decide if we're going to go for it or not.
Not to just jump in crazy, I don't know if I'm the first person to speak, but as project verification, I think that if we just run it the same way that we did the last Optimism round, it would be pretty easy to do, and people are already used to that flow, so it wouldn't be like changing up the eligibility requirements. It's kind of like, let's just go with the same ones we used last time, and people who update can be participating. Also, I guess the other question I have is, I know this is calm, so we're not going to get too much into the details of the QF rounds, but if I wanted to stay up to date, like which call is the best to join for like QF more technical details and participation?
For the call, I think definitely we can make the space in the Wednesdays calls, the Give Economy QF calls, can be the space to talk about all the technical stuff too.
Okay, cool. I'll plan to join tomorrow too.
So where are you getting the funds to run this round? Is it from Optimism?
Well, we have to do a fundraise, and you know, Griff is like, I could start doing the fundraise, you know, and start pushing, asking for funds from the same people. We do have funds in donation.eth, like still from Optin, and we just like are trying to claim the rest of it. I think Griff was trying to claim it yesterday. So like whatever funds we got from Optin and Epoch One could be used for this QF round. So we have like a bit of a buffer in donation.eth ready to make the round go, whether we get sponsors or not. But we could do a push like this week to try to get other people to send money to it.
Okay.
I personally think I like the idea of making it a topic and maybe looking at the charity, you know, supporting kids around the Christmas is just kind of that spirit. I think we have many projects that are oriented in this sense. So that would be my idea around this, and I think we can make it happen.
And just checking, like during the round, there's not that much work, right? It's just kind of like the marketing push, but like, is there a lot of work during like just to make our lives the easiest as possible? It's better that the round happens over Christmas instead of before or after, right?
I think that during Christmas time is probably actually going to be a lot less work. I think that there will be a big, especially if we run it over Christmas, there's going to be a big push like before Christmas. All the projects are going to want to get verified, they're going to want to get on the platform. But it's like once our list is full, the work is done, right? So it's just like how much work do we put in it until the list is full? And where is that full line? And that type of thing. So it's like a fire. until the list is full. And then once the list is full, it's like, oops, sorry.
But if you need anybody to communicate it, if you need Twitter Spaces, if you need a developer to do something, if you need any action during the round to communicate it or market it or fix something, that's the problem, you know? And that's like where like I'm resistant over like creating this work for people over the holidays when they should be not working. Or not
Also,
doing
I
like
do think
launching this
that
explicitly, you know?
I think from the development standpoint, like a lot of our devs don't celebrate Christmas and are like kind of around during that time anyway. But like with respect to marketing is like the biggest thing. And that's why like, I mean, I was messaging Ahmed about this the other day and like opinions, your honest opinions, Almond. Because like the biggest thing is like during the round, there's like, you know, emails going out, last days to donate. There's like, so it's like Almond and Ahmad are kind of coordinating that. There's like we were hosting shill spaces. And yeah, and then like we could set up all the marketing content to like be, you know, coordinated to go out in advance if we were like well organized. But like hosting Twitter spaces would be a different thing, for example. I know Almond's like saying she's on vacation. I know. But
yeah, I didn't know till yesterday that I'm going to be on vacation. Also, I'm curious. I think that you mentioned that Griff mentioned that Christmas is a good date for this to happen, but I just want to see if that's like really true in order for this to actually that is worth it to do it. Personally, for me, I will be as far as I can from my computer and trying to not think anything about Web3 and crypto and just decompress. But that's just me. Wondering if people really think that Christmas is a good day to run this QF round. Maybe early Christmas, that's like Giving Tuesday, for me would be like, oh, that would be a great time. But during Christmas, what do you think that people would be willing to donate? I don't know.
I mean, that was my initial thought as well. I mean, when Griff first proposed that, I was like, what do you mean? People aren't donating. They're spending time with their families. They're not on crypto Twitter. And like, I also remember like feeling that like in the last years when we tried to do these launches around Christmas, it's like, we're like, yeah, it's like, you know, the give drop is a gift to everybody. And like, sure, people care, but they're also like, didn't really care because they're with their families and stuff like that, except for me. And I was like on the computer trying to make it work. And, and that was a drag. But like, you know, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like, I know, yeah, you sent me this screenshot as well. It's like 30% of all giving occurs in December and 10% within the last year. So it's like, I guess, but those are also like statistics outside of crypto and just like in general. And like, I don't know if we're not really going to be necessarily reaching like the outside of crypto audience with this like crypto focused round we throw together last minute and don't have like effort to the resources to do that outreach on, you know? So I don't know, but yeah, I had a similar. Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry. No, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. It just sounds to me like we cannot do it after the Christmas because it means we would have to work during the Christmas to make it happen. There is a resistance to do it during the Christmas because people may not be so much active. So the only option would be to make it before the Christmas. And that means like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's like too soon, I think. I think the biggest issue is also like we've done 2 QF rounds and it seems like they're the most successful things we're doing. What else are we going to do with Giveth for the next month? Like, you know, like don't get me wrong, I'm sure we could just like build the dApp, but we have this awesome thing at our hands. Gitcoin still sucks. And we need to market the fact that we're doing QF rounds from a business sense. And we really shouldn't be going 2 months without a QF round. I mean, we could always just not work, you know, or we could work, you know, like, because I honestly, there isn't that much else to do right now. But if someone has a better idea on what to do, I'm definitely open. But I think a Christmas QF round, we need to get an optimism round going. We've had this nice gap where we haven't been running a QF round. Yeah, I think we should be focused on trying to get donations on the application, and I don't see I don't see any other ideas on how we get a bunch of donations in other ways.
Okay, Lauren made a poll in the chat so everyone can vote. It would be around December 19th to January 2nd. Yeah, I think that's the exact period in which we will be on vacation. So if we go for it, as you said, Lauren, let's just prepare the content these days and try to have it scheduled. And I guess maybe without X spaces, or we can just see if we can just prepare everything in advance. Anything else? Does someone have any other thoughts around our QF Christmas round, or what are we doing in the next month?
Yeah, maybe a quick check is who else is taking vacation around Christmas? Like, like a lot, obviously taking Christmas Day off and stuff, but just Mitch and Almond?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna take I want to take a week off around Christmas. Like it's my birthday, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, and it's time with family.
Yeah. So like a week off. Anyone else?
I'll be around.
Cool. Well, then we have a lot of people that could be around to host Twitter Spaces and execute on comms and manage things.
Wow. Great. No one have voted. It's always scary to be the first one on these things. Okay.
I voted, but it didn't show up.
Yeah, same.
Didn't
I also
show up.
voted.
It's broken.
Maybe it's a
No,
closed
let me
vote.
make a new one.
Oh,
Let's see
really? I
Lauren's
just
poll.
assumed it was like an anonymous vote and you would disclose it or
Oh yeah,
something.
that's what I thought too.
Oh, weird. Let me just make a new one. But let's move on to other topics. We've taken a lot of time on this.
Okay. Retro PGF paid campaign. So Ahmad was monitoring this. I know that it stopped, or something like that. Ahmad, maybe you can update us on that. What happened? And then we have also some content that Steve is going to prepare around our Retro PGF regarding Retro PGF for Giveth. So Ahmad, maybe you can share what happened with this paid campaign.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what happened the first time, but just this last week, I think our ads got paused because we changed our username on Twitter, I think, because we had like the Turkish flag or like something like that. And every time that you change it, like it needs to go through the review process again. So yeah, so now it's working again, so it's fine. But the only thing is, I think we should add a new like post here because we've been running like the same one for more than like a couple of weeks, and it's usually better to like have more than one variation, especially if the audience is so small. I mean, like we're only showing it to like maybe 50,000 people, and they're seeing like the exact same ad multiple times. So I think that we should have another one. Maybe we could talk about more what we plan on doing with optimism, or we might talk about how we're planning on using some of the funds, or yeah, like maybe it could be more future focused. yeah, but I mean, basically, like we need to think of another angle for this that would incentivize people that are badge holders to vote for us.
Last time we mentioned that maybe how these funds supported Giveth, but you think
In
that
the
for
plan.
paid ads, yeah, purposes would be better to say what our plans are.
I mean, we could do both. Like, we could do one post about what we used the funds for previously, and then another one on what we plan on doing, maybe. And like that, like might just be like a recap of our. I mean, of like what we submitted for optimism, basically.
I think we should downplay how much funds we received in the past, personally. So I wouldn't go that direction.
I mean, yeah, because they'll say, "Oh, like, what'd you guys do with all those funds?" Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Oh, you
like a
got all those
Giveth angle.
last round? Ah, you don't need them this round.
Yeah, like that should be enough. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So maybe
but
making it future focused might be better.
I agree. Okay, I'll work on that.
I don't think.
Yep.
I also don't think we should make it future focused. I would make it because it's retro PGF, and we've been directed very clearly.
Okay.
I would make it on the what we've done since the last retro PGF. Just make it on the last 6 months of what we've done for optimism. I mean, in the last 6 months specifically.
I mean, but the problem is that's what like the current post basically says. I mean, maybe we could do it in a different format. Maybe we could do it in a video instead, or just think about another angle.
Yeah, video. I like the video idea.
We don't really have any resource for create a quick video. It would be great if someone has an outsourced person that we can use for a video recommendation, and if we're willing to pay for an external person, but I don't think that we really come with a video resource right now.
Could just be a good meme. Oh, another thing to play on is that we've never received any investment. Because that's another meme that Retro PGF is really hot on.
Yeah, like we're not VC funded.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
a couple of good memes would go a long way.
Yeah, some memes. Cool. Thanks for your outputs on this. Then, now that Jake is also here, for the Gitcoin round 19, we are basically done with this. We sent the email today. Also, the content is published. We did all the X spaces as well. Last thing is that Pedro proposed a meeting with the people that's involved in all these Gitcoin rounds so we can align better. I don't know if Jake, do you think that this will happen in these days, or what is the plan with these next Gitcoin rounds? Because as we mentioned, we are not really doing great, so definitely we should level up our game on this.
Yeah, I guess for me, I didn't know who that was really directed to when Pedro said, let's have a call with which individuals, those him and Kotabe and etc. I'm still I'm always open to join a call, but I know initially that was the outreach, was Pedro and Kotabe were jumping on that to really take leadership. So to say, let's do a call, that's kind of opposite of leadership. It's kind of like we're doing a call is leadership, and this is the times where this is the doodle. So as the non-leader of leading Gitcoin round 19. Yeah.
Well, this time Lauren was, I would say Lauren was leading this effort. Again, I think we have some miscommunications on this because I thought that first it was going to be Kotabe, then Kotabe was not going to lead the effort anymore, and then it was going to be Bridges, and then Bridges was not going to be anymore, and then it would ended being Lauren. So maybe we can just take some time off of this call and organize, and then just decide if it's worth to have this call or no. But I will leave that to you, fundraising team.
Okay. But to answer that, we will have a recap call. Like the fundraising team I'll ensure that there is a recap call, just like we did last time, and let's get even stronger for the next one. So I can commit to that. But as the leader of, or as the non-leader of Gitcoin Round 19, I can't really speak to the people that raised their hands and said, I'll kind of push this or carry the flag forward for this round. So
Okay. Cool. We
Yeah, like I
have
just wanted to ask something about yeah, like the Gitcoin round. So like you were saying that we're not doing very well, but is that based on like a benchmark? I mean, is that like in comparison like to the other projects?
No, I was just saying on ourselves, like just each round. And definitely it's not all about us. This new PGN thing, Bridge, I've heard tons of people mentioning that they were having issues and that it was super expensive to breach and blah. I mean, is also like product challenges, but just speaking about us.
Yeah, I mean, because I checked, I mean, I think we got at least like 70 and donation is just in the last couple of days, and we're up to like 245, I think. So
is there a benchmark that, like, moving forward, kind of like an something we can, since we want to add analytics to fundraising and analytics to all the circles and seasons that you guys have already been doing very well, is there something for future?
Maybe that's a question for Griff or Lauren, I would say, or that's a good benchmark.
Sorry, what was the question? Oh, good benchmark.
I got you. Yeah, based off of like previous Gitcoin rounds and where we're at right now, Ahmad kind of peaked at like where we're at with unique donors and etc. What should be, maybe a benchmark moving forward that we can say this was a successful round or this didn't meet our standards?
I mean, I think it's not something we've really done a good job of tracking so far. Maybe it would be useful for somebody to try to go back and see like how many each, and then even just comparisons of the matching pools and stuff, so we could make more decisions going forward. I will say that I think it was probably a mistake for us to join the Web3 education category. There's so many projects in there, and it's like donors, so I think it was like just a bad call to put our project in there instead of. And so it's kind of like, oh, usually we seem to do better. Now we're probably like, I was looking at their report card. Giveth is like, in the 25th or 26th top project. And we're getting like, we got like $400 of donation so far. And I haven't really heard of the projects above us. I feel like open source is a better category for us to go into.
Yeah. I would say also we should consider like how much time do we spend on it, marketing efforts, and how many hours. Like, because if we, we can do a round, put our thing out there, and not do all the comms around it, and not do all the push, and that's also okay. Like sometimes we used to skip every other round. At least that was what we would do for a while there. Just like, yeah, we just can't put this energy every time. So I would also just account for like how many hours are we spending on it? Is this something we're pushing really hard, and we end up with, less than to cover the marketing expenses? I don't think we are, but something to look at. And I would say like 10K. If we get 10K out of it, it's probably pretty good.
Cool. Thanks. Jake, were you going to say something? I saw you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll take a look into the previous rounds and see if I can kind of find that like average unique donors, donations, matching pool for that round, and just see if we can kind of have a rough idea of a benchmark for understanding, and then that might help us decide, like Griff was saying, if we want to change our target of Gitcoin and maybe do every other round.
Mhm. That would be great. We need that. Thank you, Jake. Go ahead, Griff.
And every round we should submit to Gitcoin, like making the application for sure. But it doesn't mean we have to put all the efforts.
I should have said if we wanted to do arms for every
Yeah.
round. My bad.
Cool. Moving forward, as we have 2 more items in the agenda regarding the Polygon QF round, as a resume of our work right now, there's one more tweet about the Polygon Village form, reminding people to fill it before the deadline. And I think that that was the first stage of the communication of the Polygon QF round. So, wondering what would you say are the next steps, Lauren?
For Polygon round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the next steps are, well, I think we should maybe we should check in with Polygon, and I can do this about like when they are gonna do, just to get clarity around the project selection, because it's like, okay, November 30th is the last day to fill the forms, and then it's gonna be a couple of weeks until I guess like they rally all the KYC. Projects know, is there anything we can do to support marketing? I'm not exactly sure, but then like the next I think push will be to try to just like a couple of tweets to tell people to vote in joke race, and maybe even an email, some tweets and an email to tell people to vote in joke race once those projects are up. The whole thing with joke race is that Polygon wants like basically project curation for the round to be decentralized. So instead of having like the Polygon Village team choose the final top projects to be in the round, it's like the top 100 projects as voted by people in joke race are the ones that then are going to be allowed to participate in the QF round. So that's kind of like the next closest step. But also in the meantime, I do think that we should kind of like make sure that we're ready with all of our onboarding documentation, because as soon as that's done, the projects from Joke Race will need to create Giveth projects, we'll need to review them, and like, we don't need to verify them, but like trying to get them to like apply for verification and verify as many as can, I think will be valuable. Especially if some of them are eligible to be verified, it'd be great to like have it possible to use Give Power during the round. So it's like, I think that we should be basically prepared to have our Notion guide with all the onboarding materials for projects as soon as like the joke race contest is over, so that we can basically kind of just like share that and be like, here is everything you need to know about onboarding onto Giveth.
Perfect. Okay. Let me know. Still I'm on the Telegram group, so I'll be aware, just to also see what would be the next steps if we do the Christmas round, so we don't like overlap with the Polygon steps. But perfect. Does anyone else have some comments regarding the Polygon QF round? I just have one last item that I want to check with you.
For Polygon, like, do we know how many people applied for the first step? Like, how many people filled the first form?
We don't know, but I can ask them right now in the chat. I think it's like also gonna. So I'm gonna like type a message, and if there's any other questions, I can make sure that we get the feedback from Polygon. Like all I know is what I've told you, and like the dates. Like November 30th is the last day to fill out the form. Like how many projects or what quality of projects, I have really no idea. But when, the last time I did talk to them, they did mention that like we've got lots already, and to them I think lots is like hundreds. I think it's over 100 is lots, because they are like, let's limit it to only 100 projects in the round. We'll need to do a contest to make that smaller. I feel like it's probably more than 100 projects.
Yeah, I know that we don't know and we don't have all the answers, but we know what if the current Giveth projects will be able to participate. That's like I think that was like the main Matt's question.
Oh, the amount of projects that can participate is going to be, I think, 100. I think they're limited to like 100 projects they are.
No, meaning like the
Okay.
Giveth, the current Giveth projects. Because one of the last steps are like projects needs to do their Giveth project, but what about if someone already has a Giveth project? Do you know if they're eligible?
Oh yeah, definitely. Basically, it's like the last step is like they need to create their Giveth project so we can include them in the round. If they already have a Giveth project, that's fine. We can just include them, you know.
Oh, okay.
But wait, they still need to fill out the form, right?
Yeah, I mean, they still have to go through the whole process.
So our Giveth projects need to fill out the form to be
Yeah,
included.
I mean,
We sent
but
it.
I mean, like the Giveth project was like step 4 of the process. So it's like, yeah, like they would only get to that stage if they already did like the first 3 steps, basically.
Yeah. And what Polygon is going to give us is a list of project names and their recipient addresses and their project owner addresses. So we'll basically kind of like take that information and make sure that it matches up with the projects that we're seeing apply. It's kind of, I think, going to be a bit of a headache to do that that process. So that's why I really hope that our onboarding resources are pretty tight. Maybe we post a couple of kind of like, you know, just even like AMAs or like a couple of different times where it's like jump in and ask questions and we'll help you onboard times. It might be helpful in during like as soon as they're done the joke race contest.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Okay, and the last item that I want you. So I think that Jake already answered here. Maybe more people. But moving forward, we want to prepare a new pool of content for all our social media. So wondering if you can share with me your working group priorities or messages that you will want to communicate in the next days or months. I mean, with Lauren, I think that I'm always in contact to prepare everything regarding Polygon or our next QF rounds, but more, for example, maybe Mitch or if someone wants to communicate something, please, I'll ask you to jump into this issue and share what you think would be worth it. We have also planned these retro PGF content, but I don't know if maybe Griff, taking advantage that you're here, you think that we should communicate something besides retro PGF?
Well, if we're going to do the Christmas round, which there's a vote for up there, and it looks like it's tied. So if we're going to do the Christmas round, obviously we should start communicating that ASAP. And then other things to communicate. Well, we're about to do an ENS small grants. There's like I don't think it's a big deal, but we did win 5 ETH last time, so maybe we can win it again. And there's like a way to create a voting card and stuff like that. I think it's in the fundraising chat. It might be worth tweeting about, you know, get your ENS voting card and vote for us in small grants.
How do you get the ENS voting card? I couldn't figure out it last time.
There's in the fundraising channel on Telegram, someone put some directions there. You have to fill out a form.
Okay.
It might be too late. I don't know.
Yeah. We still need to figure out the communication between fundraising costs. Cool. I'm going to check this out. Then, wondering if, just question, is Richie's still going to take on this like fundraising lead,
Mhm.
or yes? So should I
Yeah.
like align sync with her?
Yeah, she should probably be in this call. Maybe she doesn't have it on her calendar or something.
Okay, I'm going to invite her. Thanks, Matt. Cool. So yeah, you can think about what's your main messaging for the next couple of days or even months. Maybe about the Ethereum Classic integration. I don't know what's worth to communicate. Please add it in this issue. And yeah, regarding our DApp marketing strategy, we don't have any progress. We're kind of stuck. The impact report didn't happen. Survey's not here, so we really don't have anything to discuss on this. So opening the last 7 minutes if someone wants to discuss something, or do we feel complete?
That graphic that you just showed was pretty cool. Is it just bad numbers or something?
Of what? Of the impact
The
report?
impact report? Yeah, it's a really nice infographic there.
Yeah, it's nice, right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some typos here. So we didn't make it to the last round.
It just has some typos.
Yeah, and the format was wrong, so we needed to make some adjustments on that one. So it didn't came out, and then I don't know when the next round is, Ash, or it already went.
Yeah, I think
Today.
they're planning on doing it every 2 weeks, but yeah, it just ended today. So we're gonna actually be processing 2 rounds at once because of the retreat. But yeah, so there's about to be a big like bottleneck of give backs things happening in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So, like, for the graphic, like, I mean, what like do we need to do for us to send it in this round? Is there anything blocking it?
This is the wrong issue, actually.
Yeah, I think there was a more recent one somewhere.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
what I hear is somebody needs to own it and like make sure that it happens and the information's correct. So Sotheby was supposed to own it and it didn't happen on time. So, you know, I don't think it's fair to add it to the people's plates. Somebody needs to like own this and say this impact report will be done with the correct information and send it.
Yeah, I really don't want to own it. To be honest, I feel that I have too many things already, and yeah, what happened is that she kind of like dropped the ball on the middle of the process. So maybe I can send her a message. Lauren, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe you can send Serbia a message, or maybe it's not that important. I mean, what's the expected result from this? It's like a nice idea, but if we don't have anyone who can really carry the ball on it, then it's like, I mean, we don't have that. We don't have those resources.
I mean, I can find us resources if there's a clear issue for them. I can get someone to take it on. I think that it is valuable. We're giving out give backs, but we don't have like a clear communication around it. Why we should, if we're distributing tokens, then we should tell people about it. I mean, this graphic looks great.
Yeah, I think it's a
Jean
great
could probably do
because
it.
now that we already have the template for it, all we have to do is just change the numbers each round, you know? So moving forward, it seems to be like a really low hanging fruit to just do it every round.
I mean, is
But
it something you could do, Ashley? And just like, if can we, who made the template? Can we make it
Rodri.
easy? So
I think Ahmad mentioned Ana Maria could own this. I would love that Ana Maria owned. I really like her work.
Yeah, she could. I mean, like, but the thing is, she would need to wait for like Ashley to finish first. I mean, maybe if it's just like super simple, like
if it's really
Ashley,
just adding numbers, I feel like
yeah.
Ashley could type in numbers.
I mean, I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure.
mean, if it's just putting in numbers, and I could even like add it to the forum post and stuff, it would probably be nice to have
Yeah.
it in places too.
I mean, that's probably easier.
Yeah, that would be amazing, Ashley. So I guess just ask Rodri for like how you can edit.
Yeah, sounds good. Is there an issue you can assign me to or put me on Almond for it?
Yeah, I finally found it. It was this one.
Yay.
So yeah, just quick, Ashley, on this. So the first deliverable that Survi did, it was like this really long thing. So we asked her to make some corrections on some typos, and then I think that Rodri did it. And now in this issue that I'm going to share, he sent the editable version for us just to change the numbers, but now the format and the typos are fixed. So it should just, as the team is saying, it's just about change the numbers.
Okay, perfect. I'll make a note of this issue and take a look. It should be easy. I mean, I already type in those numbers for every round into a spreadsheet anyways.
Yeah, and the other part that I don't know if maybe I can support you, Nicola can support you, is the other idea was to make these Giveth maker spotlights. I mean, you can get rid of this if it's too much work, but the idea was to highlight one project with each round.
Yeah, that should be easy. Maybe we can talk about it in the Meet the Makers thing. I'll take a look at the issue and I'll take the torch on it.
Oh, thank you. That's great. That was really on my mind. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Actually, you asked if there was any more issues. There's one more issue, and it is kind of also a communitas issue. We have this awesome, how do we is there anyone actively trying to bring projects in to Giveth?
We have a whole ambassador program that's working on that. We just completed the season, but I could probably easily recruit some ambassadors if there was something in it for them.
Well, there's this great, we offer a really great service of what is it? How much OP? Is it 25 OP? Every time you create a Giveth project and add an optimism address. And I feel like we're not really making use of it. It's like, hey, put your project on Giveth, you get $50, or it's close to $50 in OP, which is pretty sweet. No one else pays you $50 to join a fundraising platform. That's fucking amazing.
Well, we
I
definitely
know.
reward the ambassadors for bringing on projects as long as they become verified, so they can, per season, there's different levels of rewards that they can earn for bringing on different projects. The goal is that they become verified. So that it's specific rewards going to the person onboarding the project and not necessarily a reward going to the project. Like the 25 OP is great, it's going to the project, but it's not really incentivizing anybody to do the work to onboard the projects, which seems to be a more difficult thing.
It's a great idea. I don't think anybody has time to do. What I hear is that people are at their max. You've got about 3 or 4 people doing this comms, marketing, community stuff. And then you've got 15,000 developers just kind of hanging out. So there's a million things that we could do, but there's not enough people to own these initiatives, So I think that's the issue. We could be onboarding projects. We could be talking to corporations about making large donations. We could be making detailed impact reports, but there's not enough people, where we have this imbalance of too many developers. And if we really want to do this stuff and focus on Giveth marketing, then you need more peeps.
Well,
If you don't want to do it, then we just stop doing this stuff and go hibernate.
Okay, problem clearly stated. Is there anyone that we have in the galaxy that you guys want to work with?
For these marketing things, or for
Yeah, for engaging with projects and for, utilizing managing the ambassador program so that we can get more projects out there, for being able to manage little projects like the graphic.
I have some candidates.
You mean for hiring outside the galaxy?
Oh, you mean in the galaxy, sorry.
Yeah, we have a bunch of hourly workers. You know, we can bring them back if you guys have
Like
work for
who?
them, but only if you want to work with them.
Like who?
Well, we have Septimus, we have Pedro, we have Katabe, we have Maye, we have. Let me just look. Let me pull it up.
I don't think these people are like good contributors. This is what we've tried and it doesn't work. They don't fit the
I
bill.
didn't say that. I'm responding, you know, like Mitch, you're just shutting me down. I'm saying, is there any of these people specifically that you want to work with? And Lauren asked me who. And so let me give you some names. We got Giant Kin. We got mhm. We have some designers.
You're on your WhatsApp, Almond. Just so you know. Almond.
Oh, yeah. I have
Do you think
another meeting.
do you,
And I was just
do you
telling
think
that I'm late.
Nicola do you think Nicola would add more hours? We have Nicola.
Nicholas in the call.
Nicola, do you have extra hours?
I'm here, guys. What for? What exactly? I'm trying to understand. Like, what is it? What would it mean? What would it take?
Trying to onboard projects. Like reaching out to projects and telling them, hey, we can give you $50 to sign up, or managing an ambassador program.
And I really like it managing the ambassador program, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty okay job at it. We just finished a season. We brought on projects. We're gonna do another one in a few months, but first we're gonna have a retrospective and analyze like what went well and how we can do better. Because there was some things that could definitely be improved, and maybe we could get it to be bigger. But
Well, Mitch is telling me that we're giving away 25 OP to everybody, and Lauren said the same to me earlier. And no one cares. We're not using it. We're wasting our time distributing it. We're not trying to outreach to projects to get them. So if the leaders are telling me that we're not doing it, then like why, you know, and Lauren basically told me I shouldn't ask for more incentives because no one is trying to onboard projects. So like, you know, no, I hate to do this, but you guys were just railing me that you guys don't have anybody to onboard projects. So like, apparently the ambassador project isn't a thing.
well, I
Like
can
I'm
say
also
that. So,
yeah.
yeah, I don't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't want to manage the ambassador program because I know that Ashley loves it, and I did already think for myself that I might just like start reaching out from my personal profile. Let's say I'm interested. Let's say I'm interested, and I would like to maybe come up with something that would work though for me. So it would be like actually sending messages from my personal accounts and like figuring out the way to like invite them and get onboarded, join our Discord, whatever it is, so that you know can help with the onboarding. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do allocate some time of my hours to do this outreach type of a thing.
That would be amazing because there's so many great projects on Gitcoin. And if we told them, I mean, it's just a simple thing. If we just said, hey, $50 to make a project on Giveth at an optimism address, they'll do it.
So you're suggesting to me that I should start reaching out to the Gitcoin projects first?
I mean, I think that's the lowest hanging fruit. They already have an Ethereum project, and the ones that raise a bunch of money already have donors that like them.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, let's do this.
Cool. Great. Well, cool. Then we don't need to try to bring someone in from outside the galaxy. And then Ashley's down to take on the other thing. So, I mean, I feel like we have internal resources and we're just not using them correctly, you know? We're not actually trying to find the people and give the work away.
I don't know. I'd like to see, I don't know. Maybe you're right, but like we haven't figured it out in a couple of years, and the message I hear consistently is like need more people that just do comms or just do marketing. We've tried a few people. They didn't meet what we needed from them. And so we're kind of back to that square one where what I hear people saying is that they need professionals, they need competent people, and not like people that are available, that we've already hired and kind of decided they don't give the outputs that we want. This is what I hear. And so I have to like take that into consideration when, Nicola and Ashley do a lot of things, and do we add more things to their plate? Because it's like, sure, I can do it now this time, but can I do it for 6 months consistently? Is that feasible? Can I do it for a year and make sure that I'm on the ball?
I think that's more about prioritization than it is. Onboarding projects and telling people about amazing offerings that we have is, I think, a priority more than some other things. So it's a priority. Now, of course, we should, and we are, I believe, hiring a marketing person for Giveth and even a professional marketer. We're still, those processes are still in the works.
I think the thing is like, sometimes we express the need for more help, and then it's like, okay, but we don't have the budget right now to hiring people from outside, or, and it kind of like goes back and forth. So it's really hard to even have a consistent understanding of the resources available to us as viewers.
Oops. Well, I can only say that the way I imagine this for myself to be and the way I would love it to be is just like, maybe we look at it something like, I can do this before there is a fully dedicated person to this, that maybe is, it's a full-time resource. I'm willing to do this in terms of like lining out a little bit of a strategy and like sending messages. My question is this 25 OP indefinitely offered? That never
It's for the
ends?
first 640 projects.
Oh, we still
Yeah.
haven't reached that? Because I would
Yeah.
by now.
No,
Like
and there's a
200.
stats page. There's a
Yeah.
stats page.
We still have, and it's verified projects, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we still have a ways to go before we reach the number. We can definitely like promote it more, but we've put a lot of campaigns out there to get people to sign up. It's not like we haven't tried. Like Comms has made a lot of campaigns around getting people to add OP addresses and to put their projects with OP addresses.
Yeah, comms can shout into the void, but I think better is us using it as an onboarding opportunity for to be more strategic with it, right? Like, oh, any verified project can come in, but I would rather we reach out to projects that are fundraising actively and successfully with crypto, and get them to also use our platform. So like comms can shout into the void, but like nothing beats a DM from someone saying, "Hey, I can get you to 50, I can get you 25 OP if you sign up here." Like they're gonna think it's a scam. It's so fucking good. Like the trick is they have to be verified.
It's definitely an issue. Like people, when I've tried to do outreach before, they think that it's like, what's in it for you? That's part of like, it's hard, but it's not like we don't all try to onboard projects all day, every day, Like all of us in Giveth, everywhere we go, we're all trying to onboard projects.
Yeah, totally. I was just told that I should not try to ask Arbitrum for an incentive to give to projects, because it is not worth our time because we don't use it strategically. So if I'm getting feedback as a fundraiser saying I shouldn't ask for money, and I'm like, whoa, what do you mean I shouldn't ask for money? I should ask for money. That's my job. So if I'm asking for money and we're not using it, I gotta figure out something so we can use it. That's why I'm here, to say this and figure out something to use it. Because I think I shouldn't ask Arbitrum for just 5K. I should ask him for 10K, right? I'm sitting there in front of him.
So the maximum amount of projects to give out this OP is 140, and we haven't reached that, but we do have more than 140 verified projects.
600.
Sorry?
600.
600.
600.
Oh, okay. Do we have like enough verified projects to actually reach out to the projects that we already have and haven't
Yeah, but
an OP wallet?
But that's the point. It's the goal isn't to give away the money. The goal is to use this strategically to get projects that we want on.
Okay.
It's like there's no like we don't have anything that's like we don't have anything that's like, oh no, we haven't given away the money yet. That's not a problem. It's that like there's no well, I was told there's no point in me asking for it because we're not going to use it anyway. So like, and I think it's a great opportunity, and I feel like I should ask for Arbitrum money for this program. I mean, maybe, do you guys think I shouldn't?
Make the strategy later, but like asking for it, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I mean, what are we promising to get it? Like, what are we promising to get it? You know, like, what are we giving up in exchange for getting this extra 10K? Is it worth what we have to put in to get 10K? What is it that we're promising?
We're promising to add Arbitrum to the platform, and so we already got 5K for it, so we need another 5K, and then since I'm asking for just 5K, they'll easily give us 10. Like if I'm going to go through all the effort to get 5K, I might as well try to get 10, but we have to have an excuse on what we'll use it for.
Yeah.
And so we're just adding them as a Arbitrum as a thing. I'm asking for 15 too, if they can give us 10K for a matching pool.
I mean, the worst that they can say is no, right? Like, I don't see why you wouldn't.
But literally, someone told me it's not worth our overhead to distribute the funds to projects.
I think that for matching pool is like a way better approach than.
Of course, but they won't. They were like, ooh, 15K, that's too much. 10K is so like, okay. I mean, I need to know what's in my toolbox. If we want to cut this program completely because we're not going to do outreach to projects and we don't need to bribe them we don't think it's useful to bribe them, then like it's cool. It doesn't hit the market well, but if we're not even, yeah, I mean, I just need to know what I should do. And if I'm going to create incentives, we also have the referral program, for instance. If we create these incentives and we don't want to use them anymore, then in some ways it's easier to end the product and not try to do it.
My question would be
valuable to projects to be on Arbitrum? Like, what's the value that we're actually providing to the projects? Is it just us looking for money from somebody, or is it actually valuable to the projects to be accepting funds on Arbitrum?
I think it's valuable to the donors to not have to bridge.
And it's also if a project is already on Arbitrum and that's how they're raising funds through like a Gitcoin round or something else, like that's the goal, is to get those projects that are like more on like those layer 2s.
Once we're on Arbitrum, we can run an Arbitrum QF round like we're running the Polygon QF round. Like adding a chain is very good for Giveth, for sure. Like it just opens up a whole network of value. I mean, how much value is on the Arbitrum network? Like, I don't know, $500 million, $1 trillion or something like that is on Arbitrum. Like that could be donated. And if we're not on Arbitrum, then it can't be. So it's like, it's very clear that adding chains is a good deal.
So do we need to say specific numbers? Oh, we want to onboard this and this number, or can I just like start doing it and send a bunch of like messages with, every week? And would that be enough? Of course, there will be some return, but I don't want to push people. I just want to make the invitation and, make sure that I'm there to help them. and give them all the information. But yeah, so what's the promise or what's the commitment that you want to hear? Really, I'm trying to find that.
Well, I mean, they have to get verified. I mean, the ask for the projects is like, hey, hi, you know, we saw you did a great job on Giveth, you know, or saw you did a great job on Gitcoin. If you want to add your project to Giveth, we'll give you 25. We have a onboarding bonus of 25 OP. You know, it's a pretty simple ask. But you have to, you know, and if you need any help, you have to become a verified project. If you need any help, I can help you get verified and tell you if you'll be verified. You know, also, it's great that you're on the verification team. You could only reach out, you could just focus on reaching out to projects that could become verified.
Right. So if this is enough, I'm happy to start like doing this on a weekly basis and make sure that I invest my time into this. If you guys like need to hear some types of numbers in terms of like how many invitations I sent or how many actually projects really onboarded, I can start tracking these things. But I'm not. Yeah, I just trying to find out like what's the ask. So yeah, if it's just this, sending an invite like that to the Gitcoin projects, that sounds easy. Can do that.
Yeah, I think so. And we can do it for another 410 projects. So like, it would be great to get the 410 top crypto projects on, and if we can give them $50, man, it'd be great.
Yeah, I don't see how
Yeah.
this is gonna be bad for us. Yeah, so I mean I just see benefits. Yeah, that's good. Let's move on.
And do you
It's
guys think I
great.
should ask? Yeah.
It's great. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like even we've got this from Solana. That's part of the deal that will give away soul tokens. It's great. The only point that I'm making is that like moving more people to like support this and make sure that it's done well long term, you know? That it's done well, that there's people that can commit and follow through and, you know, that's the point I want to make. It's like there's a million things we could do, Griff, a million. And this is just one of the great ideas that we could do. There's just
Well,
not enough like pros working on this, you know?
totally. I mean, I think that we get bogged down on a lot of like little things that we could do when there are like two main things: onboarding donors and onboarding projects. That's it. Getting donations and getting projects. I don't think that there's any, you know, we can add the other complexities that we want, but outside of development, of course, those are the only two things. So like, I guess I don't see us really trying to onboard projects so hard. And then there's this $50 out there. I think it's, I don't know, $47 or $40 or something. We should focus more on onboarding projects. And of course, we should probably run a QF round since that brings a lot of donations. Like I know we have other things to do, but like I just from a high level, because I only see the high level, I feel like that's where we need to focus. And you know, like maybe we shouldn't do the Gitcoin round and not worry about it. You know, like we might make more money off of a QF round. I don't know. We definitely get the stats, and that's the other thing is the long-term Giveth thing is we need these stats. We need verified projects. We need donations just for our own internal numbers. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry guys. You're just hearing me rant and complain. I was just kind of pissed, honestly, that I was told not to fundraise for giving projects money straight up when they sign up. I was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? I didn't mean for it to be a 20-minute rant though.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I think it's needed to give us a push, and I mean, this is a tool that we're not using, so I think we should definitely start using it for onboarding more projects.
Hell yeah. Okay, well, I'll let you guys all go on. I'm sure we all have other calls and other things, so Thanks, guys. Thanks
Great.
for listening to my TED talk.